Hey everyone, it's Ryzen,
And Liz.
and figured we talk about the draft class because it's like actually good and it doesn't suck. It's not last year. It's actually actually playing the board properly, and I don't know, not drafting a seventh round, I don't know, safety in the second round or something, or I don't know, a punter in the third round. Patriots have done weird things before. Anyway, the first pick was Will Campbell, LSU, left tackle. I mean,
They needed one.
Who else were they gonna pick? Hunter's gone. Carter's gone.
They needed a left tackle.
I mean, in order to get Hunter, I mean, do you see what the Jacksonville Jaguars gave up? You want the Patriots to do that? Because I don't. Not two first round picks.
No.
I mean, that's crazy. So for a guy that's not a quarterback, I'm sorry, that's just completely crazy.
Yeah, it is a crazy, crazy,
I mean,
crazy decision.
of course, why the Browns gave him that, I don't know. But and then they draft two quarterbacks and two running backs makes no sense. I don't know. Anyway, um, I know people have concerns about his arm length, but it's like 32 and like 7/8.
I think your hand is going to block my face.
Like 32 and 7/8. Like it's totally fine. Like the first measurement, everybody was off by 5 inches, so it is what it is. Um, that first measurement wasn't accurate. He's closer to like 33 than further away from it, so he's fine. He's good enough. He's athletic enough. It doesn't really matter. I mean, in the worst case scenario, he's an All-Pro guard, and I think he's probably at least a Pro Bowl level left tackle. So I think they're going to be fine. Second pick was Trayvon Henderson, running back from Ohio State. He's the second best running back in the draft. So LDU at 38, and they used every second of the clock on this pick because they wanted to trade back. I know they didn't want to take a running back in the second round.
I did hear that there was some disagreements about what to do at some
Yeah,
point in the draft, and I'm
it was this
suspecting
one.
it's this guy.
It was this
Yeah.
one because they made the pick at 1 second.
Oh wow! So they took the whole clock.
Yeah, so I think it just came down to he's the best player on the board by like a significant margin. The guy's a first round talent. Probably should not have been. Well, he's rated like 37, but he's a fringe first rounder basically,
Close enough.
and that's only because he's a running back. He's very talented. The guy is an absolute stud. He's not just James White here. He's a guy that has James White's skill set plus the ability to run the ball very effectively, evade tackles in the second level. He's fast and he blocks well enough that he can embarrass linebackers.
Yeah, he'll be fun to watch play.
He's a three down back that can also serve as your third down back. So just because he's in there, you're not tipping your hand. And he's fumbled twice in his career.
Yeah, which is what they need, frankly.
And one only once on a handle. So guy's excellent. It's a fantastic pick. Then they picked Kyle Williams, best separator in the draft. It's the kind of receiver they needed. And for once, they're not picking the N'Keal Harrys of the world who can't separate.
Right. They needed somebody. That was a major, major problem, despite how bad they were last year.
No
that was
Jalen Polk.
That was a terrible problem they had. They've had that problem for years, I want to say.
So you picked a guy that could potentially become a wide receiver one-ish kind of guy, at least a wide receiver two. He's an outside guy that can also play inside. He's very versatile, but he can just separate. Even off of release, he can separate. I mean, when Steve Smith is comparing him to himself, I mean, good player, and there's no character issues or anything. The guy is just really, really good. So this receiver is going to work out.
I sure hope so.
I can't imagine them failing with him. This is definitely not a Baker or a Polk. In fact, if I'm Polk, you better bust your ass if you want to make the team because he's on the bubble now.
Yeah, definitely. Him and Baker definitely are.
Oh, Baker's not making the team. Polk is the only one that has a chance because he's a second rounder, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's cut.
Yeah.
Anyway, next is they picked center Jared Wilson, who is the number one center in the draft. Why he's at 95, I don't know.
Another need that the team... They did pick up that guy in the offseason, but this guy will probably take his job.
if not immediately, soon enough. If he doesn't play center, he'll play left guard. I can tell you that right now. This guy's going to be probably starting. So you have the first 4 picks are going to be guys that are either starting or getting very meaningful snaps.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Wilson is just the guy's an athletic monster. I know he only started 1 year at center. Look at his stats. I don't care that it's only 1 year. He gave up like 6 pressures his entire start, which is just insane.
Yeah.
He gave up no sacks. I think he gave up 1 quarterback hit, maybe 2. Just insane numbers. So he's going to be not only a Pro Bowl center, he's probably going to be an All-Pro center. So he's going to be very good. Then they took Craig Whitson, which was basically the one guy that the big boards had much lower than this, but all the pundits love him. So I think he's one of the guys that kind of fell through the cracks of everybody's rating system here.
Yeah.
He seems like a very good player. I mean, his stats are good. PFF has him very highly rated, so way higher than the 190 that the big boards had him at.
I mean, again, this is they needed a deep safety, and this guy can do that. And
he's also very good at playing robber coverage.
Yeah, which they also need.
So he is a bit small, and that's kind of his one disadvantage. But
Harmon wasn't a big guy.
No, this guy can be your Duron Harmon. So I think he's going to get meaningful snaps. And he's a good communicator, so he can get the green dot. And I think he might even be a starter at some point in this season.
Yeah, if this guy can start, that would be good, because what that will do is that will let Duggar play up more on the line,
Yes,
which is what he's better at.
Or Peppers.
Yeah, those 2 guys, basically. Assuming they're still around.
They will be. But yeah, I mean, Woodson just seems like an all-around good player. Very underrated by people's boards. I mean, they were very excited to take him. So then they traded up to get Joshua Farmer, whose comparison is Christian Barmore. So yeah, he's a good player. He has pass rush potential with his athleticism, but he's a great run stuffer, and he's going to be getting meaningful snaps.
He will. If Barmore does not come back for whatever reason, which it's questionable if he will, because he's dealing with the blood clots. Yeah,
but if he does come back, I mean, this guy will be backing him up and rotating in.
Right.
He's a good player. And then somehow in the 5th round, they got Braden Swinson. I don't know how the hell Braden Swinson fell. This guy's a top 100 talent. I think he was rated in the 60s. I don't know how he fell to the 5th round. I mean, that's how deep this edge rushing class was, that you got a 5 edge rusher in the 5th round.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
I mean, this guy is really, really good. I know he got in an argument with his coaches, but who cares? You're going to deal with that for a guy of this level of talent.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to be a great edge rusher. So now you got Landry from free agency and Swinson. You actually got a good pass rush now, which is crazy based on how terrible it was last year.
Which was non-existent, basically, after they traded Judon.
Yeah. But, of course, they actually got Swinson as part of that Judon trade because they used the pick.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was the correct decision.
Yeah, they did a lot of late round swap around picks and stuff, but it worked out.
Then they picked the best kicker in the draft at 182 in the 6th round, Andy Borregales from Miami.
They needed one.
And they were smart. They took him right in front of the Ravens, who immediately took a kicker. So they were going to take him. So they deliberately went right in front of them because they knew that they were going to take a kicker.
Yeah, both teams needed one.
So they got the best one. This is the number 1 kicker. This is an excellent pick. And you're spending a 6th round pick, which is not really that valuable to begin with. So it's an excellent pick. Then they picked Marcus Bryant at 220, tackle, swing tackle.
Who knows?
He's basically an athletic. He's got some very good athletic traits. So it's the kind of guy you're throwing a dart at the 7th round. It's a good pick. Maybe you can develop him. I mean, if Will Campbell doesn't work out, you have a backup option that you can try to develop if you have to move Will Campbell inside. But chances are Will Campbell's going to be playing left tackle just fine.
Yeah. Now, pick 251 is a Bill Belichick type pick.
Yeah, it's weird. They picked the long snapper. I don't know why. I know now he is the best long snapper in the draft, but okay, who picks a long snapper? But whatever. It's pick 251 though, guys. Like, if your only complaint is, oh, they picked the long snapper in like the last 10 picks of the draft. I mean, who cares?
It's not really a complaint.
Like, who cares? Basically, it's a guy they were gonna pick up in undrafted free agency. They were gonna offer him money. They didn't want to compete with other people, so they just threw a late one of their last draft picks at him.
Yeah.
Fine, whatever.
First player drafted from Vanderbilt in a long time.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna. I don't know what that means for what's their long snapper's name?
Cardona.
I don't know what that means for him, but he's 33 years old, so maybe they're moving on. But I mean, he had a good year last year, so
he's also the last player left on the team from the Super Bowl era.
It seems like they're just moving on, and we'll see if Ashby makes the team or not. The guy's athletic score, by the way, is crazy. It's like a 9.8 for a long snapper. That's nuts.
Maybe they'll use him for some trick plays or something.
He has a better split cone than a Dunze had.
Maybe they'll use him like they use other players.
They might put him in special teams or something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because, it's a crazy athletic score.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe they'll use him in different ways.
And then they picked the guy I don't understand. They picked Kobe Minor for some inexplicable reason at 257 with the last pick of the draft. I don't know why. He's a terrible player. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. He's easily the worst pick of this draft. So
he's the last pick in the draft. I mean,
I know, but there were better options that they could have picked. Like they could have picked that tight end that they ended up picking up in undrafted free agency. You could have just drafted him instead. I don't know why they didn't, but whatever. I think they're just throwing it. I don't think they cared anymore.
Yeah,
I think they just picked a random guy that they happened to meet with.
Yeah, they traded with Kansas City to get that pick.
So I just don't think they really cared anymore. They wanted to get the long snapper with a late pick, and then after that, whatever. We met with this guy once, just pick him.
Yeah.
He's like the 123rd ranked cornerback in the country, which is really, really bad. Not prospect, cornerback, and had basically terrible stats.
Well, whatever.
But who cares? I mean, if that's your worst pick of the draft, is the last guy that you obviously just don't care about, you had a really good draft. This was an A to A plus draft. I mean,
yeah, there's no doubt in my mind.
And then they picked up some good undrafted free agents. They picked up a good tight end, a really good running back in undrafted free agency. I think his name's Larison, running back. Dippa, I think is his name for the tight end. He's really, really good blocking tight end with some receiving options. Kind of like a Hunter Henry light. So, good option there. They finally picked up a quarterback in the draft. Or not the draft, in the undrafted free agency, which I'm glad they didn't draft one. You don't need to draft a developmental quarterback.
Right.
I mean, they filled every single hole. I don't know how the hell they did this, but they took a team that was terrible, and now it's good.
Well, I think
like the Commanders.
Well, what's the difference between this year and last year?
Well, Vrabel's there.
Exactly.
And
someone who has experience, knows what he wants, unlike Mayo, who had no clue.
But I mean, even with Belichick never would have given Josh McDaniels these kinds of tools. I mean,
absolutely not.
To give McDaniels a Henderson and a Kyle Williams, and then to give him 2 tackles.
You watch that this offense is going to be
center
significantly better than last year.
I mean,
and to go out and get Stephon Diggs in free agency too.
Yeah, and then they gave him tools.
Yeah, Bill would never have done that
to work with. I mean, I know you got Matt Collins as just like a role guy, but still,
tight end, he can play.
He's not a tight end.
He is
a receiver.
He's a tight end. I thought he was a tight end. Whatever, he can catch the ball. He's the guy who walks around barefoot.
Yeah, I know he is. But whatever, they got
Wolf and Vrabel cooked in this draft.
Yeah, they admitted that apparently they had no organization last year.
Gee,
you think? Because you didn't take Ladd McConkey, which you should have taken.
Yeah, what a mistake. Seriously.
So on the plus side, I think a lot of these old school, Belichick draft picks are going to be gone.
Yeah, the only one that's left on the team is Cardona.
And Strange. Cole Strange is still there.
How'd they get Duggar on free agency? How'd they get him? Did they draft him?
I think they drafted him with that's one of Bill's good draft picks.
One of his only good draft picks too, is Gonzalez.
Yeah, obviously Gonzalez is there, but as far as like the captains, I think Cardona's the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the line is concerned, I mean, I think you're pretty set. You got Will Campbell at left tackle. Don't know who the left guard's going to be. That's the only one. Center, you're going to have, that's going to be Jared Wilson's job at some point.
Very likely, yes.
I mean, maybe Bradbury starts it, but I think Wilson's going to win that sooner or later. Right guard is a Winwoo, and right tackle it's going to be Moses.
So they got from the Jets.
Left guard, you got plenty of options. I mean, you can plug a left guard in. I mean, that's fine. I mean, you got City So, who's good enough to play left guard. Layden Robinson should be good enough to play left guard. He was good at left guard when he was in there.
Right, when he wasn't hurt.
It was actually his best position when he was in there.
Yeah, when he wasn't hurt.
And then when Cole Strange is not hurt, he's at least a decent left guard. So I think you're in good shape on your line, which is just unbelievable to think we're coming into the beginning of this year. I mean, the receiving core is now good enough, I think, to work with. I mean, teams are going to have to plan around Williams and Diggs.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to have to take them into account.
Right. And the nice thing will be is that they can use Henderson on third down play.
Yes.
Yeah, Henderson on third down plays as the receiving
and
back.
they can have other packages where they hand it off to him too. I mean, you're going to have to account for him.
Right. I think this team's offense is going to be run differently because Vrabel has a different way that he coaches teams, but then McDaniels, I think, now has an arsenal to work with, unlike when he ever had anything in the past with the Patriots.
The only real holes are that I can think of is maybe like a developmental tight end, but you pick that up in undrafted free agency.
Yeah.
I guess maybe a developmental linebacker or corner. I guess an off the ball linebacker you could use, but I mean, there's very few. I mean, this team is a potential playoff team.
Yeah, and on the other side of the ball, they have Gonzalez and then that other guy at corner that they picked up, Davis. Yep. And then up front, they've got the farm and the farms.
Yeah, they got two farmers, which is really
funny.
Hilarious. They got Farmer and Farms.
But then there's Barmore and all those other big guys they have on the line.
Farms was actually one of the bright spots last year on that D-line. He was quite good.
Yeah, he was.
As a run stuffer.
He wasn't too bad, yeah.
But I'm excited to see this pass rush. I think it's going to be legit.
Yeah, it'll be fun to
Milton
watch.
Williams in the center, rushing up the middle, and you got Landry and Swenson on the edge. Both of them are pretty good edge rushers. So you have a good pass rush.
There's definitely a higher ceiling this year than last year.
Yeah, I'm thinking at least 10 wins. That's my thinking.
8, 9, 10, I think, is somewhere.
I mean, 8 is probably the low end of what this team should do, but I think they should be at least a wild card team, and it might not be a terrible idea to bet them in the division. You got good odds.
Yeah, because what did Miami and the Bills and the Jets do in the draft? Not much.
Well, I mean, the Bills had a decent draft too.
The other two teams, I don't know.
But I mean, the Jets.
The Jets are going to be terrible because nobody knows what Aaron Rodgers is doing. Nobody knows what they're doing.
And the Dolphins are basically the same as always. So
yeah.
I don't know.
They lost a lot of guys.
They always underperform, so I don't know. It's the Bills and the Patriots division at this point. I know the Dolphins are ranked 2 right now, but that's going to switch. I can tell you right now, that's going to switch. That's going to swap.
Yeah.
The Patriots are a better team than Miami now. Not by like a huge margin, but they are a better team.
Right. They'll still never beat them in Miami, though.
I mean, the Bills basically, all they did was pick a bunch of defensive players, which is fine. They needed a better defense, but they basically gave poor Josh Allen no tools to work with.
He's got really no tools to work with.
He's going to have to play hero ball the whole year again. It's not sustainable.
Yeah, because the Bills traded everybody.
They lost all their good defensive players.
Yeah, really. That's why the year they had them all was the year.
I mean, we stole their good receiver, Diggs. So.
Yeah, who's been passed around a little bit. And Matt Collins, he was a Bill.
Yeah, he was just a Bill. I mean, Diggs was a Bill 2 years ago.
Before he was with the Texans.
Yeah. He looks good, by the way, in his practice. So I think he's going to be ready week 1. He looks way better than Kendrick Bourne ever did.
Yeah.
So we should be good. All right. So yeah, this is Ryzen.
The schedule comes out May 14th, I think.
Oh yeah, we can do a win-loss prediction, I guess, if you want.
Or talk about the schedule. Hopefully, it's not as hard as last year.
It won't be. It's a pretty easy schedule compared to last year.
Let's hope.
But I mean, there were plenty of games that they should have won last year. That because of Gerard Mayo having no clue what he's doing, they blew. So, is what it is.
They should be significantly better.
They should be, yes. They should be significantly better. All right, it's Ryzen
and Liz.
Thanks for watching. Take care.